Hello there, this is DBT, and these are the Vrooms. And alright, let's continue playing some more Asphalt 8, and today, as you can see by the title, maybe on the thumbnail, I'm gonna go into a little bit of a binge and get some cars. Now, I'm actually not gonna binge and straight up go broke, but it's time to use some of these resources that I've been saving for a while. And you know, I have some mentality of always saving, but it's also true that there comes a point where you need to be using your resources, and this is one of those points, although you'll see how I do it. So the very first thing is actually something that didn't cost me anything, is not gonna spend any of my resources. As part of the content creator program of Asphalt 8, I have access to the Racing Pass, which means that I have the premium for it. And because of it, I have access to the very first car that we're gonna acquire today, the new car, the Chevrolet Camaro I think it should be ZL1, 50th anniversary edition. Very interesting, let's get it. Now this is obviously, I did have to do all my races in order to get to the correct amount of coins that I needed to unlock it, but there we go. So, nice. Now, that is the very first car, but how about we actually test it? Not in multiplayer, because obviously this is a stock, so it's gonna be terrible, but I just wanna listen to it. I wanna see it, so let's do it. Alright, so here we go. A little bit of quick race just to play against the AI. I'm going unboosted because I don't see the point of spending boosters. Really, what I wanted to do is look at the car and listen to it, because this is actually gonna be the first time that I actually give it a proper try. Now, the stock rank is ridiculously low, so the performance on this thing is gonna be absolutely atrocious, but no worries, that's why the AI also gets scaled down based on what you're driving and the rank that you're driving. They try to put you against opponents of similar speed and whatnot. So, honestly, nothing too surprising in terms of the sound of the car. It sounds good. I've always thought that, in general, this type of cars in this game sounds alright. The performance of the car is not something that we need to be concerned about, because again, it's going to be terrible at stock. I'm just here enjoying my car a little bit because, oh man. I mean, I'm going to be 100% honest with you, this is not a car that I have been super interested on. It's not like, oh my god, I absolutely need this car, but it's not a bad car to have either. I do believe that it looks fairly dope, so that's kind of nice. Let me get to this spiral section, because Jesus, this is long. And I don't mean that it's a long track, it's just that it feels ridiculously long when you're driving a very, very, very slow car. But here we go. So what is the drift of this thing at stock? Surprisingly good, I'll say. Look at that. Damn, I really need to check this car at Pro and see if it's indeed something amazing. I had to do a little bit of a cut there because, oh Jesus, I don't know why I'm coughing. But there we go, that's a Camaro ZL1 50th anniversary edition. A rank of 1023, so yeah. Not amazing, but it looks nice. Alright, so that was my very first car for this video. What's gonna be the second one? Well, the other car also found in the Racing Pass, which I don't know, and that is the Icona Volcano V12 Hybrid. I honestly don't even know what this thing sounds like in this game. I've driven this car in Asphalt 9, but I have no clue how it works over here, but hey, we're gonna have a look. I mean, it's a car that I can get, so might as well, right? I think it's a peculiar looking car. I'm not gonna say that it's my favorite in terms of looks, but it is. I do like the shape of the tail lights, very peculiar, so that's kind of dope. So let's do the same thing and let's test it out in quick race. Alright, so here we go, and of course there's a Camaro SS in the... Not even in quick race I can get rid of them. Anyway, let the textures load for a second because it takes a little bit. The car is definitely very, very reflective looking, holy moly. But is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. But yeah, looking at the car from the back, it looks actually very interesting. As I was saying, the tail lights have a very peculiar shape. So, you know, I mean, especially in racing games, you're gonna be looking at the cars from behind most of the time, right? So that's why it makes sense that if you like the back, there's a good chance you like the car overall. And like I was saying, it looks interesting because of the tail lights. The top of the car itself, I don't know, not super sold on it, but it's not terrible. It does have some variety in color with the black accents and whatnot. And man, what a difference it feels to drive this compared to what I was just driving with the ZL1. But then again, the stock rank is completely different, so of course this is gonna feel much, much better. I'm gonna say that I'm not super happy with the fact that it's another one of these cars with the McLaren engine. You know that I always call this the McLaren engine because of anyway. And the reason why I don't like it is not that I hate the sound, it is just that it's too quiet, it doesn't sound as good as it could. I've talked about this to no end, especially on the video that I made on the DVT's wishlist, where I was talking about how this sound in Asphalt 7 sounds much better simply because it's much louder. But that is the Icona V12 Volcano, Icona Volcano V12 Titanium. Ah, Jesus, what a name. So you might be thinking, DVT, that was easy. That was not really you spending anything on the cars. That's cars that you could get through the racing pass. So what are you talking about in terms of spending? No. Trust me. There's some spending that is going to happen. And that is going to be on the... where is it? The World Series store. That's right. The McLaren Speedtail. Now, this is a car that I've never been particularly in love with. I don't think... I mean... to each their own, but to me this is not a car that really catches my eye that much. So you might be thinking, DVT, then why are you buying it? Well, the reality is that the rotation of cars that are being offered in the multiplayer store, the vast majority of them I already have. And I like always to have resources to buy in case I need something. But if a car costs 80,000 and I have 269,000, I can afford this and another 2 cars. So buying one, it's okay. I still have enough in case something else interesting comes afterwards. And I don't know, I feel like there's been a lot of focus on British cars lately. So I don't know, I want to have this just in case I need it at some point. Because I don't want to find myself in the position where I'm going to need this car and I don't own it. And I wouldn't like to use a master key on this, knowing that I could have bought it for the multiplayer currency, which... while it is, you know, a bit pricey, the multiplayer currency is considerably easy to get compared to the gauntlet currency. So I think this is an okay situation. If you have the resources and you like the car, you need a Class S, it's not a bad option to just buy a car from the MP store. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do now. So there you go, another car to the collection, the McLaren Speedtail. Interesting car, very long, and actually not too long ago I was playing Forza Horizon and I broke the wing of my Pagani Zonda R and realized that it looks super long, and I thought, hey, it reminds me of the Speedtail, of how long it is on the back once you remove the wing. That's when you can notice it. So I started wondering, how could this car look with a big wing? I don't know, we can do that here, but now I own it, so you know what's next. And with this, I realized this is my 5th McLaren on Class S. That's many more McLarens that I thought I was gonna have in this class, but hey, it's fine. But here we go, another McLaren engine. Oh well, Game Love, please fix this. All you gotta do is increase the volume on this thing and suddenly all these cars that use this engine are gonna sound absolutely killer. Like the Senna uses the same engine sound and that would be absolutely great. But no, it's too quiet. Come on, Game Love, you can do it, I believe. But yeah, McLaren Speedtail, not my cup of tea. I know that AZ loves this car. I absolutely know that he adores it. And probably there's a lot of people who also like this car in general, but I'm just not one of them. I did get the 164 Hot Wheels version of this car, and I just have it laying somewhere because, you know, I like collecting those things too. But overall, maybe I'll work on this car someday. Like I said, I'm just having it in case I need it at some point. Given how many of the Class S cars were removed from being purchasable with Fusion coins, and now you can only get them through multiplayer coins or gauntlet coins, you know, they're there for you to take, right? Only when they're there. But what happens if there comes a special event or something that needs this car and you didn't get it when you had the chance? I'm not saying that you should just go and buy any car, but like I said, there's so many of the cars in the multiplayer store that I already have that I thought, hey, I have enough to still have some money, or rather some of that currency in my pocket, and still spending getting some of these cars that I don't own. Case in point, the McLaren Speedtail. But alright, there you go. There is that. I don't know if that actually had to go. Oh, whatever. Alright, so what's next? Because we're not done. Not even close. I'm gonna get a car. Speaking of cars that you can purchase for Fusion coins, and the whole thing about cars that I like versus performance and whatnot, I'm gonna get a car that I really like how it looks. I dislike 100% how it sounds, and the performance, from what I understand, is very bad. So let's go for it. And that is the Rimac Concept S. That's right, this thing. I understand that the performance, it's very bad, that's what I've been told. But as I always say, I never, or the vast majority of the time, I don't go for cars that are necessarily amazing or anything. I go for cars that I like how they look, and man, this thing looks dope. I don't like that it's electric, so that's another negative for it, but seriously, it looks so damn cool. So why not? And like I was saying, it's a car that you can buy for Fusion coins. Now, I don't imagine that Class A cars are going to be removed for you to purchase for Fusion coins, but at the same time, there has been many cases where there's a bunch of cars available and then they remove them, they take them away for a while, and then I think like, oh, I actually wanted it. When will I have the chance? So yeah, let's get this thing. Why not? 2.5 million Fusion coins, I can afford it. I've been saving Fusion coins for quite a while, and nowadays buying cars is so much cheaper than upgrading them that getting me a new car doesn't feel like such a waste of resources. But look at this beautiful thing with the big wing and all of that. It looks so damn good. And by the way, this car was just announced for Asphalt 9. I made a video just yesterday talking about it. So if you want to see that, it's on the top right. But yeah, Rimac Concept S, it's now mine. You know what's next. So I'm gonna request to you very respectfully to save the comments of DBT, you should upgrade the Camaro SS Independence Edition because it's great. I know it's great. There's a reason why I haven't upgraded it, because I don't care for it. I really don't need the absolute king of Class A. I don't need the absolute king of anything. And that's not me saying that, oh, I can do amazing with any car. You know that I'm a very mediocre player. And for the same reason, even an amazing car isn't gonna do miracles for me. What I want is cars that I like looking at, that I like driving, simply because they're nice cars that I, enjoys the sight of. And I know that everybody plays the game for different reasons. Some people are really going for, oh, I just want cars that are gonna give me W's. Fair enough, but that's not. So just in case anybody here is new and doesn't know how I work in terms of getting cars and what I like to get and upgrade as opposed to what is, the best cars and whatnot. Yeah, that is basically my philosophy. I like getting cars that I like driving cars that I like. I don't care for kings, I don't care for insane performances. I'm not gonna prioritize driving a car for results as opposed to for look. And that is very clear with the fact that I own the Faraday, I have the Faraday Pro'd out, and I barely use it because I hate that thing. Instead, I would rather drive something else like an Apollo IE that looks so much cooler, even if it performs worse. There you go, Rimac Concept S. It actually felt surprisingly comfortable, but then again, probably when fully upgraded, from what I understand, it has absolutely atrocious acceleration, so yeah, I don't imagine I'm gonna be upgrading this anytime soon, but hey, now it's in the collection, so nice. So what is next then? What is my next and last purchase of a car for today and for a very long time probably? It's a car that it's sold for tokens. It's a car that I've been looking at for a very long time. I have wanted it for a very long time, and it has never been sold for anything that isn't tokens. It's such an annoying situation that I've been waiting for it. I was hoping that it was gonna show up on the multiplayer store and never did. And I've been waiting for it to be available in a Fusion Coin sale. And I think maybe at some point it was available for Fusion Coins in one of those sales when back in the day they would sell the car for 50% discount on tokens or Fusion coins. So maybe that was the case, and if that was the case, I missed out my chance on getting it like that, but it is what it is. I am where I am right now, and I gotta move forward with what I'm given or what I have. What car am I talking about? Let me show you. The Renault Alpine Celebration. Holy moly, this car has been on my list for, I'm kidding. I'm talking about the Renault RS01. Holy moly. Now, it's not a secret. I've talked a lot about this car on the fact that I've wanted it for so long, and man, I've just been looking at it for so long. And much like the Rimac, I know that this is not going to be an amazing car by any stretch of the imagination, but you know what? I don't care. It's not performance what calls me. Just look at this thing. It is so beautiful. And this one actually I would like to upgrade eventually, not for the results that it'll give me, simply just so that I can use it in multiplayer, because this is a car that I like the looks enough where I want to be driving it. And it sounds good too. So tokens, 19,000 tokens. I have 21,000. Am I gonna waste most of my tokens on that? No, because I have master keys. That's right, I've been saving my master keys for a very long time. I have 2 in Class D, 1 for Class E, 1 for Class A, and 2 of Class S. So that allows me to get some cars that are not necessarily even for sale, like the Chiron Sport 110 ANS, which is sold for for gauntlet coins. So this is an expensive type of car. You can see, there's not a ton of cars that I can get through this thing, because at this time I have most of the Class S cars that you could buy through the master key, and even some that aren't. But in general, you might think, well, DBT, why don't you go for the Chiron? First of all, because I don't like it. Second of all, because this is a car that you can acquire in some other way. In general, I only use master keys on cars that are exclusively sold for tokens, like the case of the Renault Sport RS1. And I've been waiting for this thing to show in the multiplayer store given the rank. You know that the multiplayer store tends to give 1858, 59, and 60. The Gauntlet store is 1861 and only one 1862, and the rest of the 62, I don't know if they're gonna be Treasure Rush or what, who knows, whatever. The point is that I've been waiting for this car to show up and it hasn't shown up, and I don't think it will show up. There's always a possibility that right as I get this car, then it's gonna show up. Like tomorrow it will be there, in which case I will hate my life. But, you know, I've been waiting for so long, I've been wanting this car for so long that I think it's only fair for me to finally get it. And there we go. Jesus. Seriously, you have no idea. I've been waiting for like a year or maybe even longer to get this car, and I just haven't found another way of getting it, and I'm tired of waiting. I want this car. It looks amazing, so it is now in my collection. And you know what I'm gonna do next. And obviously I'm not testing any of these cars in multiplayer because they're gonna do terrible. You know that that's basically the case for pretty much every single car at stock. And besides, especially for cars that are not upgraded, I can have a little bit of fun with the AI because it's difficult to get good results like this with the stock car. And at the end of the day, I still enjoy just driving the cars, even if there was no AI, just driving the cars to look at them, to listen to them, and just drive around, because at the end of the day, that's a little bit like when you're cruising in your car or your bike in real life, you're like, yeah, I'll just enjoy the moment. But yeah, finally I have this car. Seriously, you have no idea. I've been waiting for I said 1 year, but it's probably longer than 1 year that I've been waiting for a way to get this car. And in the multiplayer store, it never showed up. So you know what? Having 2 master keys and the fact that GameLoft hasn't updated the master key for a master key list for a very long time, it makes me think that they won't do it anytime soon, if they will do it at all. Maybe, I'm thinking that maybe they will do it by the end of the year, hopefully, and then some other cars will show up. But even then, from the cars that may show up still over there, I'm not necessarily hyper interested on any of them, and I would much rather get a bad car that looks amazing like this than a good car that I don't like that looks that much, like the Apex, the one without the wing, I don't remember that. So there we go. That is basically what I wanted to do in this video, just acquire a bunch of cars, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the whole thing about saving. Granted, I didn't spend a whole lot of anything, though I did spend 50% of my Class S keys, meaning 1 out of 2. I didn't spend a lot of fusion coins or anything. I could really go on a bench and buy a lot of cars with the fusion coins. I don't do that because I'm still saving my fusion coins in case something comes up like a special event and I need to upgrade cars. You know how I did with the Diablo, how I upgraded it, thanks to having all of these resources available. Same thing with the Brabham BT62 that I upgraded it by using the resources that I've been saving. And I think that is a bit of a mentality that people need to adopt a little bit more in this game, and that is to not go broke. People, you need to save some resources. Now, you don't need to hoard like I am and hoard 30 million fusion coins, but you could always save 10 million fusion coins and have them around in case something comes up and you want to use those fusion coins. It takes a while for you to save, sure, but trust me, it feels so good when you are prepared for rare eventuality, which has been the case for me, and that is why I'm saving fusion coins, that is why I'm saving credits, that's why I'm saving tokens, that's why I'm saving multiplayer coins, that's why I'm saving gauntlet coins. I'm saving all of that precisely so that in the case of an eventuality, I am prepared with some resources. And speaking of saving, if you want to get a heart and a pin, you know how this works. The key phrase is going to be, saving is hard, spending is easy, but don't go broke. You know how this whole thing works. So again, you don't really need to go as crazy as I do in saving so many. Also the vouchers, remember that I got some vouchers precisely in case I needed them. And guess what? I did need them in order to get my Brabham decal. So I think it's a good idea in general to save resources. Don't go broke every single time. Have a little bit, again, not necessarily 30 million, but have some decent amount of millions of fusion coins saved around in case you're gonna need them, because hey, maybe something good will show up, and maybe that will be a good opportunity to use them. But anyway, I want to use my 11 dices that I have right now. Haven't spent a single one just yet. We're in the second day of the treasure rush, and honestly, I'm wholly uninterested on getting the Koenigsegg Regera. And this actually is one of the reasons why I wanted to get some cars in general, because the Regera was a car that was sold for fusion coins for the longest time, and I never acquired it, never. And now it's no longer available, and now you can get it only through a treasure rush. So this suddenly has become a rare car. And I'm like, ugh, I don't know about that. So, I mean, I'm getting some horrible rolls, but hey, whatever. I don't even care. Honestly, again, this time I'm not going for this. If I can get some direct upgrades from this whole thing, that would be fantastic. But yeah, that is what... Jesus Christ with these rolls. That is why I was like, you know what? It's time for me to get some other cars, because at the end of the day, I'm not super interested in this car to begin with. So I don't care if I get it or if I don't get it. And if I get some of these dices, instead of trying to gamble and I'm trying to unlock the Regera, I would rather get me some direct upgrades, because at least that has some more value in the more immediate future. But yeah, overall I just wanted to talk a little bit about this whole idea of saving resources, because again, everybody's free to do whatever you want with your resources. You don't need to follow what I'm... Oh, Jesus. Okay. You don't need to follow what I'm talking about in terms of, oh, you need to save, you blah, blah, blah. No, it's not that I'm trying to give you advice on how to manage your resources, but I think it's a healthy mentality to have in general, to not go broke every time that you have the opportunity. And this applies not only in game, it applies even in real life. Don't spend all your money all at once. Have some money in the background in case you need them. You don't know. Maybe it will be good for some random situation. Maybe there'll be, hopefully never. There might be an emergency. Who knows? But try to have some on the back. Just saying. I just thought of talking about it. I don't want to make it into a TED talk of, hey, here's how you save money. Oh, is that a reverse? That's a reverse, isn't it? Yes. All right, so, well, I mean, I have gotten a couple of direct upgrades, but yeah, and you can tell that I'm not even paying attention to what I'm getting, because in general, I'm, you know, never been too much into Treasure Rush to begin with. And I know you can get some decent amount of stuff if you're lucky, but, you know, my luck is terrible. But all right, that's gonna do it for this video. Just wanted to get a bunch of cars, because why not? If you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Hit the like button, all of that good stuff. Check these other videos appearing on the screen right now, because they're good. But that's all for now. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care and stay safe. Bye-bye.